Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Soheb and you are watching Wrestling Fact.
10 things WWE wants you to forget about ECW. ECW sparked controversy wherever it went. Considering the extreme promotion as WWE's property, they'd like fans to forget these 10 things about ECW. Number 10. Didn't benefit much from working relationship. ECW invades WWE. The working relationship between WWE and ECW is a weird one looking back at how it went down. Today's relationships had any positives from this arrangement. Number 9. Joey Styles proved one-man commentary could work. Joey Styles. WWE has always gone the traditional route of having commentators going back and forth with each other during matches. 2, 3, or even 4-person booths are the standard of WWE wanting to offer different perspectives on commentary. AEW, WCW, and NO all followed the same model, but Paul Heyman took an interesting risk for ECW. Joey Styles was the one-man commentary table for most of ECW and did well in the role. ECW proved that one person focusing on the wrestling could add to the product more than multiple voices arguing. Number 8. Steve Austin putting over Mikey Whipwreck. Steve Austin vs. Mikey Whipwreck vs. The Sandman. ECW booking Steve Austin played a huge role in his career turning around for the better. Paul Heyman reached out to his pal Austin to come in while injured after his controversial WCW firing, AEW with the one singles match putting over underdog ECW champion Mikey Whipwreck. WWE rarely mentioned Austin's ECW in-ring time, since it had him losing to a smaller wrestler that wouldn't have received offense on Austin in a WWE ring. Number 7. Use of female characters. Francine ECW. ECW didn't have a women's division, but they employed quite a few female talents in other roles. Most were managers, but Heyman pushed the envelope by doing some things not as acceptable in the WWE landscape. The male and female violence often saw women getting hit with weapons or dangerous moves like the pile driver. Heyman also used sex appeal by having teases of sexual action, including a live strip show by Kimona Wainalea during a delay. Number 6. WWE's TNN deal ruining ECW's agreement. Paul Heyman ECW promo. Both WWE and ECW had hopes of making TNN their full-time television home for the future. ECW suffered more from the disappointment as the network never believed in them. Things grew worse when TNN started negotiating with WWE for Raw when ECW was still on the air. Paul Heyman was so frustrated that he created a network faction based on TNN to give them heel heat. WWE signing with TNN played a huge role in ECW losing their last chance at major success. Even though Vince McMahon supported Heyman, he wasn't passing on a great TV deal to help ECW. Number 5. Almost turning Kurt Angle away from pro wrestling forever. Kurt Angle ECW. Everything about Raven crucifying the Sandman in ECW turned out to be a regretful experience. However, there was one fascinating tidbit that made it an infamous moment and story in wrestling history. Kurt Angle attended the event and was considering making his ECW his way to start wrestling. The segment offended Angle so much that he cursed out Joey Styles and walked out of the event in anger. It is a fun story in certain contexts, but Angle was close to never giving wrestling a chance. Number 4. Sonny is exposed. Sonny WWE. Paul Heyman took some huge risks that often crossed the line. The working relationship with WWE made it stranger when Heyman started advertising a tell-all expose from Tammy Sytch when she joined ECW. Sytch was marketed like a celebrity appearing on an entertainment daily show after leaving rehab. The segment saw Tammy talking about her personal demons and the falling out with WWE. Everyone involved regretted the tacky nature of this angle, especially since it didn't draw ratings. Number 3. Burying WWE constantly in promos. Shane Douglas. The working relationship between WWE and ECW was hilarious at times with how Paul Heyman used this to his advantage. Heyman benefited from getting money and talent from WWE, but he also insulted the bigger promotion to keep his street cred with the audience. Shane Douglas, Taz, and others would take shots at WWE wrestlers in their promos to get the ECW diehards riled up. The overall approach to ECW was making fun of WCW and WWE, even though Vince McMahon was helping them out. Number 2. Terry Funk branding Mick Foley. Terry Funk. Various ECW segments and overall concepts were wilder than WWE and other promotions. Mick Foley showed this by doing more dangerous stunts in ECW before making it part of his WWE identity as well. The rivalry between Terry Funk and Foley played out in ECW with a branding iron of all things being used. Funk branded Foley in a shocking moment that even made Foley's haters care for him. WWE never utilized a branding iron in that manner, even though Funk and Foley worked together again there. Number 1. Paul Heyman sold out ECW talents when signing with WWE. Paul Heyman, Jim Ross. The most controversial move of Paul Heyman with ECW came at the end when he essentially stabbed many of his talents in the back. ECW was in an unknown space in early 2001 when the company didn't have any live events booked. Heyman signed a talent contract to work for WWE before he revealed to the ECW locker room that the company was closing. Many names who sacrificed their bodies and left it all on the line in ECW found out their jobs were lost by seeing Heyman on WWE commentary.